everyone, it's your girl coming with the first video just for you guys, and today I'm bringing you my very simple everyday makeup routine that I always do when I do decide to wear any type of makeup. I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer, so let's just get started. So first things first, before I do anything else, I like to tie my hair so it's out of the way. As you can see, I'm using this. Actually, it's this thing that I've gotten from one of my dresses, and it was the first thing that I found, so please don't judge me. So, as my first step, I always like to prep my skin. I start with my lips. You know, no one likes to have cracked, dry lips, especially in this country. This winter is literally horrible, and you know, you never know who you might end up kissing, eh? So yeah, here I'm moisturizing them. I'm currently using the Dr. Paw Paw lip balm. It's literally one of my favorites. And then I move on to my face, which again I always prep before applying any type of makeup. I've been using the Benefit Professional Primer since I got it, and I'm literally loving it because, you know, it helps with color correction and keeps my skin oily free, especially around the T-zone where I do struggle with a lot. And let me tell you, this has been a lifesaver ever since. And as you can see, I'm using my fingertips. I always use fingertips when applying primer, you know, just so it helps and I can make sure that I get all my skin evenly. My next step is trying to cover my dark spots. Here I'm using the Maybelline Brightening Creamy Concealer in the shade 60. Now, I don't always use shade 60. Sometimes I do go for a lighter shade, which is shade 50. Depending on how my skin is, if I feel like it's a bit lighter than usual. And I used to have quite bad acne when I was younger, so it did leave me with quite a few darker spots, mostly around my chin area. So that's where I apply most of the product in. And then I like to go ahead with a brush and literally just dabbing it around my face where I've applied the product, so it gets it all evenly, and you know, I'm not left with any bumpy product around my face for when I go and apply my foundation. And just so you know, most of the brushes that I will be using in this video are from Real Techniques. Now, moving on to foundation, I don't always apply it as I feel like my skin is quite good and it doesn't really need it. Also because I do tend to go for more natural looks. But hey, you know, just for today, because I'm doing it for you guys, I did apply it. And yeah, when I do decide to use foundation, I like to do a mix of liquid and creamy foundation. First, I start by applying the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat liquid foundation in the shade Sienna. Then I go ahead and blend that using a brush. Then after that, I apply the Avon True Color Cream to Powder foundation in the shade Caramel. Again, using the same brush. As you can see, blending that really well.
You see, I'm liking the way that you force it up on me. Baby, come with me, come and show me. You can phone me when you're lonely. I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm liking.
So, once that is all blended, I'm going to attempt to contour my cheeks. Yes, attempt, because again, this is not a product I use often. Mostly only when I'm not in a rush or if I want to be looking a bit different or a bit thinner. So I go ahead and contour around under my cheekbones, my forehead and my jaw area using the Avon True Color Cream Foundation in a shade Dark Cocoa, which is actually a foundation that's a bit darker than my actual skin color. And by the way, I usually don't contour my nose unless it's a really special occasion or if I'm going for a full-on makeup vibe. And then using a brush that I've used to blend my foundation in previously, I go ahead and blend the contour as well.
You can phone me when you're lonely. I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm liking the way that you force it up on me. Baby, come with me, come and show me. You can phone me when you're lonely. I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm liking your way.
Next comes concealer, which I only apply under my eyes to make them pop and look like I'm not sleepy. Here I'm using the Avon Mark Nude Matte Cream Concealer in the shade Deep. And then I blend that with a brush. This time I'm actually using the Zoeva Bamboo Buffer Brush in the number 103.
give you all my money. Yeah. Say we go ride in my Benzema. We go fly from London to Argentina. Confide in me, my Angelina. I go give you my shoulder, so cry, you know.
Then I go ahead and set all my makeup using pressed powder, Glow On by Avon in the shade Fawn, and I like to put this all over my face so it gives me a nice tanned look.
Baby, come with me, come and show me. You can phone me when you're lonely. I'm just tryna be your one and only. I'm liking the way that you force it up on me. Baby, come with me, come and show me.
Next section is my eyes. Here I'm applying the soft brown shade from my Illamasqua Neutral palette across my eyelid, starting on the outer corner of my eye and blending across towards the inner corner, and I keep adding until I get a nice shade of brown so my eyes don't look so naked anymore.
Asian girl, me I like one of them.
For blushes, I'm using a mixture of two Avon creamy blushes in the shade Sunny Apricot and Blushing Nude. I always tend to go for like creamier blushes instead of powdery ones because I do feel like they give me a better glow. And actually, I'll tell you guys a little secret. So most of the time when I'm using blush, I actually use lipsticks instead of the actual blushes because I do feel like, you know, it gives me a softer type of skin finish. I don't know why, but you know, next time you do your makeup, just consider trying lipsticks, obviously within the blush color palette, and then tell me what you think about it. Eyebrows. This is the most important step for me. So I usually start by setting spray to my brush and brushing my eyebrows first. Then I go ahead and using the Avon True Color Glimmer Stick Brow Definer in the shade Soft Black. I do little brush strokes in upward movements until my eyebrows are all filled. This is actually the step that takes me the longest because I do like to get it perfect on both sides. So most of the times I start by measuring my eyebrows so I know what my finishing and starting point will be, and this is just easier for me to, you know, fill the whole eyebrow.
I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm liking ya, I'm liking your ways, liking ya, liking your ways, liking ya, I'm liking your ways, liking ya.
I'm liking the way that you back it up on me. Baby, come with me.
So eyebrows are all filled now, and what I like to do after is basically just do like a cleanup. So for this step I will be using the NYX Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Fresh Beige. I basically just go around my whole eyebrow trying to clean anything that I see that shouldn't be there, and then once that's all done I can do any touch-ups, whether it is with the same concealer or go ahead and use the eyebrow pencil that I've used previously to do anything else that needs doing.
Baby, come with me, come and show me. You can phone me when you're lonely. I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm liking the way that you force it up on me.
Now we move on to lips. So for my lips, I started by applying lip liner in a really dark shade. Here I'm actually using the same stick I used to do my eyebrows earlier, and I've noticed that I always tend to use real dark, like really dark shades as lip liners, and because here I couldn't actually find my brown lip liner, I decided to use this instead, and you know what, it actually looks quite decent. I liked it. So on top of that I applied lipstick. I'm using the Avon lipstick in the shade Mocha, and this is actually one of my favorite lipsticks because it's actually really creamy, and I'm just obsessed with any dark shade lipstick really. That's my go-to color in lipsticks. And my next step, I have noticed that I decided to invent a little bit. I don't know what I was doing, don't ask me, because I just went for it. So I actually applied some of my concealer on top of my lips, and then blended it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did it. It came out horribly wrong. And then to cover all that, I decided to add some gloss on top. Now, I always use gloss anyway, so to be honest, I kind of knew what I was doing because I did know it was gonna work out well. So yeah, I just decided to apply some gloss on top. Usually I like to go for like glitterish type of glosses, but this was the only one that was in front of me, so I decided to just use this one. This gloss is actually from Lipsy, which I got ages ago. And you know, Lipsy is actually a brand that doesn't really do makeup, but I don't know, I must have liked the lipstick at the time, so I got it. And yeah, but I still like what I did. My lips look quite good, so hope you guys like it too. Next step is eyelashes. Now, I don't really tend to use fake eyelashes. That's just something that I usually do, whether it's like a wedding or a really special occasion that I'm going for. But I do always have to use two different mascaras. So currently I've been using the Maybelline Snap Mascara, which I put on first. And then once that is dry, I go ahead and use the Max Factor Express Volume Mascara. And this mascara actually has two different sides to it, but I always use the number 1, which gives me extreme volume. And then yeah, once that's done, I have really nice big voluminous eyelashes, which I love. So yeah guys, we've come to the last step of this routine. Here, as you can see, I'm applying some highlighter on top of my cheekbones, my forehead, and also across the bridge of my nose. Sometimes I like to apply it also on my lips and on my chin, just if I'm wanting like more of a glowy type of look. And here I'm using the number 7 liquid skin illuminator highlighter, which I do prefer rather than powdery ones, just because it blends a bit faster. And yeah, once that is all done, I just like to do any last minute touch-ups. And yeah guys, that is the end of this video, so I hope you guys really enjoyed it and are just as excited as I am for the next ones. So please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a nice thumbs up, and comment anything that you would like to see in my next content down below. Of course, don't forget to share with all your friends across social media, and I will leave you guys now with a mini clip of this finished look. And that is all from me. Bye.
See, I'm liking the way that you force it up on me. Baby, come with me, come and show me. You come for me when you're lonely. I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm liking the way that you force it up on me. Baby, come with me, come and show me. You come for me when you're lonely. I'm just trying to be your one and only. I'm like